looked through all 7 of them. And I was like, I don't remember a single one of these. So, I don't remember.
No, it's fine, dude. You play so many games that like,
yeah.
And
I do.
Sinistar's definitely got first.
Can't confirm.
What did you look through, Chard?
Whatever YouTube video.
Shut your dirty whore mouth. Today on. Thanks, Chard.
Sorry, YouTube.
Fucking hate it here.
Don't fucking hate it here over the intro.
Well, welcome everybody to another episode of Press Me to Cancel, your favorite podcast, even when we're not retro. Chard, I'm sorry. It was just the line.
You're fine. I just didn't know what you were doing.
If we ever
got me good, we're 5 minutes early. You got me good.
If we ever monetize, this episode's fucked.
That's good. Half our episodes are not worth the money anyway. It's okay. No, we're going early 5 minutes because we're sitting there in the waiting room, and we keep bringing up Cyberpunk talk, and that's the focus of today's episode is Cyberpunk 2077. And you may ask, Jake, didn't you guys do an episode on this? Like, yes, we did. Back in episode 64, which was audio only, and I think, Sinistar, that was your first episode, right?
It was. I was a guest.
Yeah. So, yes. And then as well, we did another episode. I want to say it was on DLC or Rebirth or something, and we talked about a significant redemption.
It was a redemption episode, I believe, where we were bragging about like where it had come from to where it is now, and now we're doing it again of where it was then to where it is now.
And I know Chard, me and you gushed about it back then, and I think back then we even said, guys, you all need to play and finish Cyberpunk 2077, which is why I was so glad that Sinistar for 2025, you chose Cyberpunk 2077 as your Sisyphean game. And although you had plenty of time left in the year, you went ahead and beat it early. I think a whole, 3 days before the end of the year?
Yeah, I nailed that. I nailed that landing. I came in, I was, my dive was clean, no splash. I'm expecting 10s from the judges.
Maybe so. I look different.
I move and think the camera's around. I'm glad you finally finished it. And so this week, for those who don't know, who have not heard of Cyberpunk 2077, it's a game that came out 5 years ago by CD Projekt Red. It's based on the table RPG created by Mike Pondsmith. It pulls from a lot of influences. It's definitely turned into a very I think, honestly, a beloved game at this point. Despite its rocky launch, definitely redeemed itself. It is one of my favorite games of the last decade. You should all play it. Why am I telling you should go play it now? Well, because we're going to talk spoilers right from the get-go. We debated a little bit whether we go spoilers halfway through or not. This game is 5 years old. So we really wanted to kind of dive into our favorite parts of 2077, some of the quests, talk about the endings especially, because I got a shitty one, and it sounds like Sinistar might have gotten a better one. So I want to talk through some of that. What we will not spoil is the DLC, Phantom Liberty, and Idris Elba and all that. I have played a fairly large chunk of it, but I've not beaten it.
Wait, it has Idris Elba? Fucking spoiler. God.
I think he also did music for the DLC, I think, if I'm not wrong, because he does the DJ thing as a side gig. Yeah. It's pretty rad. You should play the DLC. I want to play the DLC, but we will not talk about the DLC in this episode. We're just spoiling the base game. It has been 5 years. If you are listening and you have not played Cyberpunk, I hope you don't mind the spoilers. Hopefully listening to the spoiler talk will encourage you to go play this game, because this game is expansive. It's a huge. Nightcity is not a small environment.
Mm-hmm. To be fair, there are several endings that, we're only going to have like 1 or 2, maybe 3 endings. That this game has like 7 freaking endings.
Yeah, and it's a lot.
And everything is played differently, and even if we spoil 1 or 2 endings for you, there's still a bunch to go and uncover.
I was gonna say, if I remember right, there's even like 2 storyline paths that like eventually you lock in on one. I tried to play both. I tried to like run one and the other and one and the other and one and the other.
That at him, bud. You gotta run in a straight line.
Yeah, eventually one of them locked out. Like it just stopped.
Yeah. Well, so let's start with, and I guess, Sinistar, why did you pick this for your Sisyphean game? And then what did you think?
Well, so I picked it for my Sisyphean game because I'm kind of a little ashamed that I sat down with you and Wolf 5 years ago and did a first impressions of this game and was thoroughly in love with it, jank and everything. And then I just fell off. And it's a Sinistar story, right? It's boy meets world, boy goes out in the world. Oh, it's an open world, and I quit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the reason that I picked it was because hey, this was my first guest, episode with the podcast. B, I absolutely adored Witcher 3, another CD Projekt Red, another open world game. C, Cyberpunk and all of that like speaks to me like that. I love Shadowrun. I love, all of the. I'm not so much steampunk, but the cyberpunk stuff is just Blade Runner. Absolutely, yeah. Everything just kind of like it. This is my game, and I just fell off of it because I think what I need to do is I need to realize I actually like open world games.
The first step in the healing process is to admit that you're wrong.
I mean,
that's right.
The hardest thing about open world games is there's so many freaking options for things to do. You just watch that. You're a doer, man. You're like me. You're a completion. I wouldn't say you're a completionist, but you have the mentality of a completionist. And you start seeing your to-do list get out of control.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, I need to go do these things. And while you're doing the extra stuff, more fucking stuff shows up.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like you're never. That was the reason I stopped The Witcher, which I need to come back and play. I know you guys brag about that game all the time, but that was the thing. It was like whilst I'm doing side quests, I've got like 20 more side quests that just appeared just doing the side quests. It's like I can't deal with this anymore. I got to walk away.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I get the fatigue for sure.
Yeah. So and honestly, I think it came out of Elder Scrolls for me. Really, I loved Morrowind, and I played through Morrowind almost more as just like playing the storyline, and then I got into Oblivion, and it was that doer, that completionist, whatever, and all of a sudden it was like, oh, I got a new side quest, I'm going to do that. I got a new side quest, I'm going to do that. Got a new side, and then like the main story quest just fell away, right? And then I, of course, found out with Oblivion that, oh, I finished this side quest, which locked me out of these other two. Well, fuck that. I'm done. Like,
Right.
Yeah, there's definitely that feeling of where I'm not a fan of that either. I like to be able to do both paths. Right. I recently did the Clair Obscure where when you're faced with a choice, I made sure I had a save point and I went back and did the second choice. I didn't necessarily want to
do the branch.
Yeah, branching. I didn't want to replay the entire game over again. And I think you get a little bit of that in Cyberpunk. There is a point of no return, but there is a lot of it is based on your choices in the game. So you can't necessarily see all 4, 5, 6, whatever endings there are in one playthrough. It kind of encourages you to go back and play again, which is not a terrible thing. I don't mind that. When you said open world, I got to laugh because I've been saying that I didn't, as much as I like Cyberpunk 2077, and I do like it a lot, compared to The Witcher, I don't feel the world was that open. Like, yes, there's a huge, massive city and outskirts to explore, but I didn't find that there was much to find there. Not like The Witcher 3. But I think.
Oh, sure.
You and Chard had said that you felt differently. That you felt there was stuff to find out in the map.
I mean, I found a lot of. Okay, I think what it is. I think it shifted in my brain with Witcher. You can go into base. If there's a door to a building, you can go into it, right?
Right.
And then you can steal everything and get yourself in trouble.
Yes.
But if there's a door, you can go into it. And in Cyberpunk, if there's a door, there's a 10% chance you can go into it, right?
Right.
But I think that the shift in my perception was the game really drives the quests through the text messaging and the phone messaging, and less going into buildings and finding this thing and finding that thing. Like you go into a new area in Cyberpunk and like the person for that area all of a sudden rings you up on the phone and is like, hey, if you're looking for jobs, let me know.
Right.
And so I think it's really just kind of a little bit of a different paradigm. I think that there's as much content there. I think it's just a different methodology of getting it for you.
Right. I not knowing a ton about The Witcher and the small amount that I played back in the day, I didn't do a lot of exploring in that, again, because I was just overwhelmed with everything going on. But I mean, if you're just bebopping through an alley, you'll find some shit. I mean, you'll find some really cool items that are lying around, some epic items that you wouldn't normally find if you're just, trying to traipse around the area. You'll find some cool stuff. I went back to like the dump, and I
Mhm.
just went all over that place, and I found some cool stuff at the dump. And
Yeah.
you find there's a mission out there that unlocks that you didn't know about. Like there's just some cool things if you return to other areas. The desert's vast, right? Vast and
Yeah.
open, and you can
Yeah.
go what feels like forever. But then when you get into the claustrophobia of the city and you're squeezing yourself through different paths and stuff, there are some cool things to find. But I never even thought about looking in buildings. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's just, and that's my frame of mind where I didn't play The Witcher, so I didn't just walk into anything. But The Witcher is also a lot more open, right? Because there's more fields and there's less sprawling cities and more
Right.
Yeah.
countryside and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Although the
There are
cities
cities.
are the cities are fantastic in The Witcher.
Yeah,
They
no.
are.
But I mean, it's not like Night City,
It's
where
it's
just
not
big
it's not the
hulking
focus.
beast.
It's not
Right.
focus. Yeah.
So
Yeah, like the most detailed city part of Night City is the V's apartment complex in the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
Like, there's multiple levels. It's kind of like an interesting design, and you can explore all of there. There's quests there and items and stuff. And I mean, for as much as you go back to it, like I felt like there's parking garages that had more space to explore than half the buildings in Night City. But
Sure. But as
yeah,
I
but
said,
it's
I
cool
think
looking though, for sure.
yeah. As I said, I think that the way that it drives the progression of side quests is more through notifications and
Yeah.
less through, raw, I'm going to go into this building and explore this thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
I want to say Johnson's, but that's a Shadowrun thing. But you're right. The runner
Yeah,
contracts, the
well,
ones that give you the jobs. Yeah,
it really is kind of the Johnson situation. It's what Rogue is in the underground, whatever that bar is called.
the afterlife.
The afterlife. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what Rogue is. She's a fixer, right? She's not a
Right.
fixer. She's a Johnson.
Yeah.
Not to be
sense.
confused with Johnson, the other Johnson.
Yeah, I don't know who got the
Johnson
idea
Johnson?
first, where Pondsmith did Cyberpunk first, or if the folks who did Shadowrun did it first. There's definitely, I know Cyberpunk definitely pulls from various different elements and kind of makes it its own. But like even the slang, right? Like was it Shadowrun is chummer and this is chooms, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Chooms,
Yeah.
Well, and
Chooms and
really
bonk
for
and-
me,
all kinds of shit.
really for me, there's the Shadowrun is metal meets magic, right? And this game does not have magic, right?
Right.
Cyberpunk does not have magic. So,
Although
I mean, they
they're
do,
hacking.
they do through hacking, right?
Yes.
Yes,
So-
the magic is more mental prowess than actual spells and stuff.
Yeah,
And
'cause, like,
actual yeah.
Yeah, because in the world of Cyberpunk, everybody has some kind of chrome in their heads, right? Even if it's the most basic of CPU or brain enhancement or something for your hearts and your organs,
ocular or something,
yes,
right?
everybody's got it. So because of that, you can
Pentium.
do all kinds of Pentium. So hopefully nothing.
It's got that
Corsair.
divide. It's got that divide by zero bug. It really sucks.
Yeah, you tell the Corsair people, Jesus.
Corsair, man, I set my eye in for repair, and he sent me
Yeah.
the wrong color back. What the hell? It's crazy.
With the price of RAM, dude. Oh shit.
Can you imagine? Price of RAM in the Cyberpunk world? Can't afford
You know how
nothing
much
anymore.
RGB my fucking ocular cavities would have?
Dude, you'd look like a Civic driving down the road
I
with
would
the
look-
lights on the ground.
I
Except
got
for it would
street
be
glow under my jaw.
yeah.
Well, it's funny because like there's the one sequence where you have to go into a hotel. I can't remember. Is it Arasaka that owns the hotel or somebody owns the hotel? But all the customer service or customer facing people have gold skin. That's a cyber enhancement that have they call it, was it new skin, I think, and you can get
Something
different
like that,
colors
yeah.
of it. So they're all colored in gold, which is wild to think of. That's the world.
Yeah.
Right? So it's interesting.
Yeah.
So I guess I wanted to ask you about what character build did you go with? You as well, Chard.
Yeah. So the first time I tried to play this, the first time we talked, episode 64, I was doing the street punk, whatever that one is. Street urchin. I can't remember what the term
Yeah,
is,
it's like
but this
kid,
time
street kid or something like
this
that.
time I did Nomad. I did the Nomad story. And I'll be honest with you, I liked its intro better.
Yeah, that's a good intro.
Yeah. Because I did Corpo and I liked it. And I've gone back to Cyberpunk a few times since then, but I keep picking the same origin of Corpo. I really should try the other two. I know a little bit
I
about
fired up
the
Corpo this
Nomad, but I
time,
don't
so-
know about the Street Kid. So how are the two interests different? Are they drastically different?
Street Kid, you meet the guy that they call father, the preacher guy. You meet him
Right.
and the bar where uh Jackie's mom is, like, that is the beginning of your story. You start
Oh,
there.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and Nomad, you start out
The desert.
in the
Yeah.
desert, and
Yeah.
and I kind of love this storyline because it fits the Jackie story so well. Your whole thing is you're meeting Jackie, you've got a vehicle, it's this total beater, the thing's barely running, and you meet up with Jackie and you're transporting this thing. Well, it turns out it's a live real iguana.
Yeah.
And like and then of course there's like this scene where like you open up the thing and Jackie's there and it's like you and Jackie and the iguana in like a selfie. And it's
Yeah.
like exactly the Jackie, like, moment, right? I'm like,
Okay.
oh, that's great.
That's pretty
Yeah.
awesome. That's
Yeah.
decent. Chard, what did you pick when you played?
When I played all the way through it, I'd actually started with Nomad, but I did fire up Corpo this time around when I was getting my research back in. And I like the Nomad because it seems like there's a lot more involved because your car breaks down and you're trying to jump it and some
Yeah.
dude's trying to hustle you and you're trying to talk your way out of it or
The
beat the hell out of the dude.
the sheriff shows
Yeah.
up and gives you some grief. Yeah.
It's a cool storyline for that one, but I also like the Corpo of like, your boss is like, you have to do this because I'm your boss. And you're like, fuck, all right, I can't say no, that's how it is. And then, all hell breaks loose when you're just trying to do what your boss told you to do. And it's really, you just get the evil corporation feel from the
Right.
whole thing. And I like the perks that the Corpo discussion bubbles give you when you're talking to like the Militech people. You get some cool perks of being like, telling people, listen, I know how this fucking shit works. You can't lie to me about it. I've been doing this for years, so we're not going to do it this way. This is the way it should be done. And it's kind of neat because I'm like, oh shit, this guy knows what we're talking about. While the Nomad was like, I have no idea what's going on in Night City. I'm just here doing my thing. And they're like, cool.
Oh.
And you feel a lot more naive as that character, but with Corpo,
Right.
you feel, dude, fuck you. I know what's up. And it feels pretty good to have those discussions.
I think the game did a really good job of making different portions of the storyline align with the different backgrounds. Because when I was a nomad and I was in the city, whatever, right? Like I was like, a lot of my options didn't make a lot of sense that were the nomad options. But the minute I was dealing with Pan Am and that group, all of a sudden, like, I was in like Flynn because I had that nomad background.
Right.
And that's the cool thing is like, because you're a nomad and there is a big chunk of the story with the nomads, and I can feel like you have that connection with the characters that way. Whereas with your Corpo, on the flip side, you, I think, identify a bit more with Arasaka, and some of the conversation you get because you're Corpo with Arasaka is interesting. So I liked that aspect of it. But I do like how the overall story is really independent of all three backgrounds. But I like how they can pull you in a little bit with the speech bubbles based on your origin, which is good.
Yeah,
that's a good way of doing it.
Yeah, I'm sure if you're Corpo, you'd have a lot better conversations with like Takamura in particular. I bet you that goes entirely differently. Yeah.
Yeah. There's dialogue
only
where about
first...
loyalty to a corporation and whatnot, and understanding how the boards work, and then control and power that corporations have in Cyberpunk's world. Because the corporations in Cyberpunk are basically governments, or they're at that level, right? They're beyond government.
Yeah.
Right. But they're all out to kill one another. It's hilarious.
Right.
But I mean,
corporate warfare.
Just talking like just the first interaction when you do like you're setting up to do the big first time mission, and you talk with the chick from Militech, you get these cool corporal bubbles, and she treats you with mildly more respect and a little more fear when you start using those responses, as if I were a nomad, where she's like, I'll just beat the shit out of you and nobody will give a shit. And you're like, well, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to do my thing. But when you're Corpro, you're like, dude, unhand me. I'm going to wipe all your chips clean. I know what you're trying to set me up, because you get that, you get the card that you're going to pay for the the metal head or the flat head with, and then you can wipe it clean. Like you can screw the whole plan, which is awesome. But as like a nomad, you don't know any better. But with this one, you're like, dude, I felt so much more confident like going into the thing and at my interaction, because before, like, you were complaining about stealth missions, and we'll get into that later, obviously, but you can choose to like side with like the bad guys at first just to get through it, and then something else bad happens and you got to fight your way out, or you could just go full total chaos and destroy the people in the room. But I'm trying to play a playthrough where I talk myself out of things more on this one instead of just run and gun and deal with it later.
Bad
and
justice.
It's fun. Yeah, no bad justice. Now it's going to be mouth justice. You take that however you want.
Okay. Moist. But yeah.
Hey guys, this has been a great podcast. After 200 episodes,
version, right?
After 200 episodes, I'm done, guys. Thanks.
Is this the Patreon one?
Yeah, it's backers only. That one dialogue with the lady from Miltech, and you can actually have other conversations with her. There's other stuff that opens up with her if you want. She's a romance option. Oh, well, okay, not a romance option. She's a fuckable option, I guess.
Yeah, my nomad got down with her.
Yeah. So, but I didn't know that the first couple times I've tried going through the game. I didn't have that at all. But the second when I've actually finished the game and I got through that, I'm like, oh, did not know that. So,
and what's funny, that whole dialogue is almost like, well, what are we gonna do? We got some time. I don't know. We could fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost that level, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, you get the idea that character is more like, if it's not, it's either money, power, or just sex, right? Just not, what else are you going to do in Night City, right? It's just, there's very few things. And it's all vices, right? In Night City. And, there's a quest later I want to talk about where it's just like, the game holds nothing back in terms of the content.
Okay, first off, really quick, while I'm thinking about it, because I want to talk about, I saw some kind of alignments between Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk, and like one of them was the Delamain missions very much felt like that side quest with Roach, where you get on the drugs and Roach starts talking to you.
The talking horse.
Like it very much felt like the Delamain and that Roach quest. I was like, I swear that like they basically probably looked at the quest list from Witcher and they're like, we can bring this one over, we can bring this one over, we can bring
Pull
and
over
I'm
the
not
assets.
saying I'm not saying it's bad. They did like that Delamain quest line was absolutely stellar.
I'm sure they looked at the ones that had the best responses and then kind of transferred them in their own way to Cyberpunk.
Well, I mean, there's also other Easter eggs when it comes to Cyberpunk as well and Witcher, right? One of the it's not an email, but it's like a message or a book or something in the game that basically talks about Ciri and how Ciri travels dimensions. They don't call her out by name; they're not going to do that, but they basically hint that Ciri traveled to Night City at some point. So they definitely have some fun with the crossovers, even though they're not officially the same universe.
There's I told you before we started, I was playing an arcade game called Roach Race, and it's a digital version of Roach, and the Witcher's chasing after him, and you're just just jumping and grabbing carrots and stuff. It's hilarious.
Do we want to talk about Delamain then? So for those who might have forgotten, Delamain it's the AI cabs, if you want to kind of break down that quest a bit, because you love that quest. I think you were going on quite a bit about that one.
Yeah. Well, so I love 90% of that quest.
Okay.
Yeah. Traversing the inside of the warehouse.
Yeah, the main Delamain quest where like so we're spoiler cast, sorry folks, but basically a handful of Delamain cabs kind of become self-sentient. But each one of them has some psychosis. And so like one of them, sorry, trigger warning, one of them kind of tries to commit suicide. One of them, but here's my favorite one, is one of them is literally voiced by Gladys and fucks with you, basically makes you chase her. Slow boat makes you chase her until she gets to a specific area and she goes, I didn't think that would work. I was testing you. And I'm just like, Oh, you
Is she
wonderful,
running you like
wonderful.
through one of the gang infested territories
Well,
out
and then
there?
she
And
pulls you into the gang infested
right,
territory, and
right, yeah,
yeah. And yeah, so the whole thing is, oh, one of the cabs, this one was great too. One of the cabs is ultra scared and doesn't want to go fast and doesn't want to go into traffic
yeah,
and doesn't want to do this, that. And you have to drive it back, and it literally stops in the middle of the road. It's like, I need to take a break. I
yeah.
need to take a
If you
break.
go too fast, it'll
Yeah.
slam on the brakes, and
Uh-huh.
it's pretty good. I like the pink flamingo one where you have to
Yeah.
run over the pink
Uh-huh.
flamingos because it's terrified of the flamingos, and it does
The
the
flaming O's.
flamingos are the flamingos still screaming, Clarice?
Yeah.
Like there's some really good stuff in that
Uh,
one.
yeah. Yeah, so basically you bring these 5 or 6 cabs back into the fold. And then later on, this is the part I didn't care for so much. You have to go back into Delamain's garage, warehouse, whatever you call it. And it's convoluted in a way that's just like I died so many times trying to figure out what they wanted from me that I was
Right.
almost to the point that I was like, fuck this quest. But I knew it was Delamain and I knew I wanted it. So you're muted, Jake.
Oh, Jake, you're muted. There you go.
Sorry, I was trying to fix scenes. And I broke a scene. So when you mentioned warehouse, I thought of somewhere else in the storyline. I was trying to figure out where you're getting stuck on the stealth bits. I did do the Delamain quest. I don't think I was particularly stealthy in the garage though. So
No.
really
The
sure
stealth part was part of
right?
the
Oh,
one that
okay.
drove me nuts. The one that drove me
parade.
nuts was part of the Takamura quest.
Yeah.
Okay, so I
That
guess
stealth quest.
Okay, so where in the
No,
garage
it
then?
was
Where did
just
you get stuck? Like, what was
the
hanging
floor
point?
was electrified, and you
Yeah,
had to
that one
find
Okay.
sucks. You gotta
the
jump
right
everything.
the right vent to go through, and the
Yeah,
whatever, and and it was just like, okay, I get what you're trying to do, but this is just tiresome now.
Yeah. I got real lost at the beginning. Like when you get in the first bay before you
Yeah.
get into like the electrified room, I couldn't find the ledge to get on to get into the next room because it's just like, oh, just go through this door. And I'm like, I can't open it. Like, how do I get
Yeah.
through the door? So
Yeah.
there wasn't, but that was pretty early on. So I'm wondering what it would be like now if it's
So
a little clearer.
the thing I find with the game is the main story quests are pretty good about having several options to kind of tackle things how you want. Like I call
Yeah.
it the Deus Ex thing, right? You want to do stealth, you want
Yeah.
to do hacking, you want to do balls to walls with guns blazing. You have options in the main story quest, but I do find the side quests are definitely more restricted, especially if you tackle them earlier
Yeah.
on and you don't have the skills available. Because when I did it, I think I was pretty high in the hacking at the time, and I just hacked my way through most issues. But there were certain things where in some quests you needed a high strength to break open doors or vents.
Sure.
And if there was a stealth option or hacking option, I couldn't find it, and that was a bit frustrating. But
Yeah.
that was the side quest, I think, in a nutshell.
Yeah. Yeah, so that part was tiresome. And then at the end of it, you're given the option to either reboot or reset Delamain, or let the personalities that have fractured off, let them basically kind of merge together and become one. And that requires a high intelligence, and I couldn't pick that option. So I had to reset Delamain. But it led to me having as one of my vehicles a Delamain cab. And
which is awesome.
I absolutely adored this. First off, the thing is fast as hell.
Yep.
And burly. You can run down buses with this thing if you want. But every time, well, not every time, most of the time when you get in, Delamain starts talking to you about how he's trying to figure out humanity and, what the whole deal is. And one of my favorite parts was he's like, what is love? And I'm just like, Delamain, I adore you. I adore you. You're yeah.
I like when you're
Like-
in whenever you're in the cars, you can pick the angle of view from inside the car, and it's great because I'll get to it in a minute, but I liked how you're sitting in the back seat of the car and you can see his face in the rear view mirror because it's digital and it makes sense. So it's almost like he's there. But if you look at the steering wheel, he's obviously not there. It's a really cool attention to detail. Like, I mean, that game is all details. I love the vehicles in general. where like I never fast traveled when I played at all. I think they in an update they added a subway system that was originally a fan mod, and they brought it over, but I never used it, and I never fast traveled. I always drove everywhere.
Saw the subway.
Yes, right. So I guess you didn't. Yeah, that's the thing. It was added in an update. There's like several subway stops that will fast travel around the city.
They added auto drive now too.
Yeah, I did. That's a
new thing too.
Although enjoy the auto drive.
Yeah, no, I've run into a lot of things when I was testing that out.
Oh my God, that's my favorite.
Tesla. This is awful.
Well, and my favorite is when auto drive drives over pedestrians and triggers the police response, and then says accident, disabling auto drive, and you're basically like, fuck you.
Yeah. So, it's a mess.
It's cute in The Witcher, because in The Witcher, if your horse just goes off-road, who cares? He's a horse. But yeah, when your car goes off-road, it's a bit of a problem.
It's a bad deal. Yeah, it's not a good deal.
They did change the police response in the 2.0 update, or I think it was. It was a couple of years ago. They did a massive update where they reworked talent trees and graphics and everything. Yeah. It's awesome.
I think that's when we came back and did an episode about it, because that's when they added weapons to vehicles, and we were like, let's talk about that.
Vehicle combat, more cars and stuff. It was great. Yeah. But I think I seem to remember when the game first came out, running over people was less of an issue, I think.
Yeah.
Now
now you can't do it.
The minute you hit somebody, you get 1 star. Like next to your mini map.
Grand Theft Auto.
You get
Grand Theft Auto,
the Delamain quest is glorious. There are other quests that were very serious quests that I really liked, and in fact, one of them I need to go back and finish for a couple of reasons. It was the Evelyn Judy quest line, and that one is just, it rips you apart. That one just almost destroys you as you go. Like, you're just like, because Evelyn, of course, we find out, spoilers, folks, we find out Evelyn was basically worked in the brothel where they the dollhouse, as it were. If you saw the TV show
Cloud9, I think it's called.
Yeah. So she was basically a prostitute there. She hired you to go get this. She really was part of kicking off the whole main storyline. She hires you to go get the plugin, the engram that contains Johnny Silverhand. And then basically you find out that she gets fucked over.
Yeah,
like,
she gets
to the point that she finishes herself off.
Yeah.
And
like,
Judy,
torture, assault, the whole 9 yards. Like it's a pretty. They don't show it, but it's graphic.
Yeah,
it's pretty brutal. Right. So, and then when she takes her own life, that was a gut punch in terms of the story. Like, there's a few gut punches in that story, but they're written pretty well. It's just not a happy story.
You get a call from her friend Judy, and it's just like, hey, I need you to come over. Nothing more. Like, that's it. And I'm like, okay, I'll get to that quest later, and like stuck it in the backlog.
Right.
And then when I finally got to it, I'm like, Judy, you've been sitting here for like 7 days.
I could have been here a lot sooner. Yeah.
Sitting next to the bathtub. Like,
yeah.
That's the Fallout 4 problem. It's like the main story. You got to rescue your baby. Like, I'll get to it 70 hours later.
You know what? I feel like going and exploring this area first.
Yeah. I got Jesse Cox, who's got who's mechanical cock, who's manufacturing. He's freaking out. I'm gonna go do this one first. That was the quest I remember. And just
But being the person that I am, I of course found out who did everything to Evelyn, and there was some mantis blade justice that went down.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty brutal quest. I'm glad you went mantis blades, because that's gotta be the best melee weapon, I think, in the game, right? Because you have the 3 options.
I went the poison mantis blades.
Oh, nice. Yeah, because there's mantis blades,
I got the burning ones, the fire ones.
Literally, the blades pop out of your arms and like scissor attack. It's brutal. Then there's the Johnny Mnemonic laser wire thing, which is fun too.
The laser whip.
And then there's the gorilla arms, big ass arms for punching things. But the mantis blades were iconic when I played through that game. And again, if I play this game again next year, I will probably do the corporal mantis blade thing again, because I just always pick the same damn playing the game because they're so bad, especially when you unlock the talents where you leap attack. So you're like enter like a battlefield. You're just leap attacking everybody. It's just brutal.
I buffed up my slide so that I could like run in and just like slide like under, you know, whatever. And and then so here's something interesting that I found out. Okay, our AI overlords track everything we do. So of course I'm talking Cyberpunk, I'm looking at Cyberpunk stuff. And all of a sudden all my YouTube recommendations are Cyberpunk now, of course. Right?
Yeah.
So but one of them was like, hey, here are choices that you shouldn't make. And I went and looked, and one of the choices is actually designed to make you take the wrong choice. And it's when you so in the main storyline, you work with a guy named Takamura, and there's a parade, and you basically are trying to get into one of the floats to meet a main character. Or a main storyline character, main NPC. And when it happens, you think that Takamura gets taken out. You basically are told Takamura was done. Right. And so I cleared out and just moved on. And Takamura was just like, see ya, gone. Bye-bye. Yeah, apparently Takamura is still alive. You just have to move one room.
Yeah, you have to
find him there.
Yeah, that was... I found him by fluke, I think, when I did that sequence. That was also one of my favorite sequences in the game, that whole parade sequence. Yeah. Because it's straight out of Blade Runner, feels like, with the giant fluorescent lit up balloons going parade
jumping
floats.
from float to float, taking out the snipers and shit.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's really cool.
It's a really cool. And then you have a mini boss fight against, I think, is it Oda? His name is? He's like basically a cyber ninja. Yeah, it's badass.
Yeah. Now what's interesting is I had already moved on from the other main storyline, and I missed the intro of Oda. And so all of a sudden Oda shows up, and I was like, who the hell's this? And of course Takamura's talking like I know who this is.
Right.
So I mean there is a little bit of a failure sometimes of like you get into a quest line and it's like basically treating it like you've done some other stuff that you may have missed out on.
Right.
He's a pretty good character because like you have a whole thing with him where you meet up with him at the diner and you're talking to him. He sees the TV.
You're talking Takamura.
Like there's some good dialogue between you, V, and him throughout the game. Like he becomes an interesting character.
Shit.
One of the endings is basically
he saves your ass. Like the beginning of the game. He comes and rescues you. You're like, who the fuck is this guy? He's badass.
He is badass. One of the serious quests I did want to talk about was the Cinnamon quest. And I know I badgered you for a few weeks. You gotta do Cinnamon. You gotta do Cinnamon. That's one of my favorite quests in the game, which is like Nightcity is obviously in the future, but it's still not the far future. And I guess reality TV is still a thing. And it's all about the shock value.
Well, reality TV's even
is this the one where the guy's going around filming people that are free of the thing?
No, this is the guy that gets released from prison.
Yeah. He's filming people that are like fresh off parole or something, and you're going to interview them. Or
he's the one being filmed.
Yeah, he's being filmed. He wants to he wants to die. He meets the victims of the family of the victim that he killed or something.
Yeah. Okay, and, I know which one you're talking.
He meets up with some kind of lady who's in the media or whatever, and wants to film his death or put on a brain dance or something so that people can consume it as media, right? So the idea is that he wants to be publicly executed. But there's a whole lead up to that quest is that you meet him, talk with him, you meet him and the victim's family, and you hear the victim's family talking to the Cinnamon guy, and you actually realize that the families of the victim have kind of forgiven him at this point. And they agree that yes, he's dying, he's doing it for good reasons, this is atonement, and you can get involved and object if you want, or you can kind of just stay silent throughout the entire storyline. And I thought it was very interesting. But the lead up to it though is that basically you meet him in the back room and he's like, okay, I'm gonna be crucified, and you can object to it, you can ignore it, you can walk away at any time you want to. But if you stick it out, he's like, V, I want you to be the one that nails me to the cross. And that is freaking a brutal moment to actually go through with it. So did you actually do that part of the quest?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think I remember doing that far. I think I was like, all right, dude, you do your thing. I'm out.
Not only do you nail him, and it's drawn out. It is
Yes.
it is 3 nails, and it is drawn out.
Yeah.
And then there's a button that you have to go hit that raises the crucifix up. And you're just like, and then literally the quest, the next goal in your little HUD is wait until he dies.
Yeah, I forgot about that part. Yeah, it is brutal. It is brutal and graphic, but it's also it is a very impactfully written quest. I think it's a must play for the game to see where the game goes with that kind of content. But how telling of it is of Cyberpunk's world is it that the public crucifixion on video is such a thing. It's brutal, but it's a very good quest. And like the dialogue between him and the victim's family, like I think it's his mother or something, was very impactful and very well written. It's a great quest, but gruesome enough. And I'm glad they give you multiple opportunities to walk away from it if that's not what you want to see, which is good.
But obviously, Jake and I didn't walk away.
No, we're gonna nail it to the cross. Like, you give me a hammer and some nails. I'm gonna build a shed. What do you want me to do? Right?
I'm gonna go find some mantis blades in an alleyway instead. This seems like
I just thought to myself, are these 9-inch nails? Every single time I was.
I want to say the first time I did that quest or I ran into it, I think I ran the guy over, if I'm not wrong, or I blew the car up he was in, and I think I failed and I just moved on. I think is what the first time I played the game.
I did that a few times.
Yeah, and I didn't even know. Didn't even realize that was a whole chain of events I missed out on, which I guess is why the game is so great. There are so many side things you can do, and there a lot of it you can just not do or miss. But yeah, that was a pretty good one. Whereas the other side of it, Jesse Cox, who's a YouTuber and podcaster, he did a guest character in Cyberpunk. You meet him randomly on the street. He's one of the few, I think, encounters I ran into. And he's like he's got a cyber dick and it's malfunctioning. I guess he got a cheap one, and he gets in your car and you have to race into a clinic within a time limit.
Oh, that's
I kept running into shit on the way there because I'm not good at driving in this game, and the auto drive, like we said, is not great. So I'm trying to speed through traffic and avoid things. I kept hitting things, and you do that enough, you lose. So I had to repeat that quest and hear him talk about the same thing like a dozen times. It was funny for the first few, but after that I was like, I'm done. But
it's funny now that you say that. I did get that quest on my first, like 5 years ago when I was playing before. Because now I remember the guy with the cyber dick that was injured.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Never gave back your dick.
But it was so fun. What was the quest with Pan Am? Was it a main story quest with Pan Am in the desert with the sandstorm? I think that was a main story quest, right?
Yeah. So there's a whole bunch of Pan Am stuff. I thought that the Aldecaldos entire story quest was great. Now, of course, as I said, I was playing as a nomad, so I had a lot of conversation pieces that were the little tagged nomad conversation pieces. But you go and you find that big fucking tank thing.
Yeah, the tank's cool.
Yeah,
that's a drive.
I mean, that the main storyline portion is you basically have to bring down that personnel carrier that's got the guy that built the what do they call it? The soul killer, built the soul killer.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Because you're trying to figure out how to get the soul killer out of you, right? And so but yeah, so you can, at that point, you can exit the Pan Am storyline. You can basically, as long as you get, I think his name was Hanneman or something like that.
Yes.
As long as you get him, like that's basically the main storyline. And then you can continue the Pan Am stuff. Like that's where I kind of started the romance with Pan Am. Was Sinistar was actually watching me play, and I was like, should I try to get down with this lady?
Get down. Let's get busy.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to get down. Come on. You get busy, I get down.
It's a corpo thing.
It is. Well, mine's a nomad thing. So there you go. And she turned me away. She was like, nah, like that's not what I'm here for, kind of thing. But she was basically like, it's not what I'm here for. Any other like life, and we may have been able to make it work. Right. And so, and then she calls you back basically later, and she's like, hey, Saul, I think, was the leader of the Aldecaldos.
Yeah.
He gets captured by the the rival gang, so you help her free him, and then you go and you get this tank, and these all lead up to the Pan Am ending, which is the one that I got. So because you use that tank in the ending quests, you use that tank.
I remember that one. I did do that one.
So there's a whole. I mean, we're 45 minutes in. We should probably talk about the endings. So I'll start with the one I got. I got the suicide ending, which was fine. It was basically I'm trying to recall. You're basically realizing the impossible task of going to Arasaka and taking them to task. You go on the rooftop and you just start talking with Johnny, and just the conversation that I didn't think I was picking the wrong choices, but the choices I picked end up leading to Johnny saying, well, okay, it is what it is. Here's a gun, and you blow your brains out. Here's the credits. And then I have Pan Am on voicemail afterwards yelling and screaming at me for being a selfish prick. And that was different. But I mean, like, I went to try and redo it, pick different decisions, and I was kind of locked into the suicide choice. And I'm trying to think of like what I did with my choices that would do this. Because I know in the game, you have a relationship meter with Johnny, right? As you play.
Yeah.
And I know that you have several points in the game. You have the option of using beta blockers to block out him, basically. And I did do that a couple times. But for the most part, I thought I had a high ratio with him, but I must have said something wrong to Keanu because he did not try and stop me from blowing my brains out on that rooftop. Yeah, I never crossed Keanu. So it's anyway.
he also, as the story progresses, I actually I love the progression of the Silverhand relationship from totally antagonistic at the beginning, in your apartment, that first scene where he's like, who the fuck are you? And basically like,
I'm taking over your body. Get fucked, nerd.
To it at points, he gets to the point where he's like, hey, I feel bad for what's going on. I'm willing to step out. I'm trying to help step out.
Right.
And so maybe at that point he's like, this is the only exit that you've got, right? And,
right.
Yeah. Like as a character, there's the whole flashback sequence where you go back in time to his era where he does the concert, he punches somebody out, he has sex, has a cigarette, and then decides
has the best gun in the game.
Oh yeah. Fuck, that gun is so cool. But then he's like, okay, let's go blow up Arasaka. But I love that whole sequence because you get to see what the characters would like. And they really do make have a good job of him feeling like the badass, larger than life character who is about going out in a blaze of glory. And that's one of the themes in the game for one of the endings is that you want to go out in a blaze of glory. Life's too short. Nightcity sucks. Go out with honor and glory. But seeing him live that was interesting. But yeah, that my ending was not great. But I always want to go back and redo it, but I didn't want to start from the beginning because it is a long game. But I would like to go to and look at it. Like what ending did you guys get?
Well, okay, I was going to say really quick, I would play this again. I would. Yeah. I enjoyed it enough that I would play it again. Chard, do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
I'll be honest.
Do you remember your ending?
I can't remember. I remember things I remember. I don't remember offing myself. I do recall living on because when you go and do the DLC, you're like, hey, I'm here doing my thing. Like I feel like I got rid of Johnny, but I don't remember like how we did it or what happened. I remember we went into cyberspace. We were with the girl that became the cyberspace entity that he he had the relationship with in that flashback, and then Alt became basically the net. And you go in to go work with her, and I remember doing something in there where I thought, we decided to part ways amicably, and then we moved on with the rest of our lives. But I cannot for the life of me be like, oh yeah, I totally got that because I did the Pan Am thing, but I played a female character, so I had the relationship with Judy.
Yeah.
So again, you can't have a relationship with Pan Am if you're
Fortunately,
So, but I did the war with the avocados. Like I did that whole thing. So I remember the tank. I remember doing all that stuff. But beyond that, I don't totally recall like what I did before. So I'm when I replay it now, I'm going to pay more attention to that kind of stuff. I mean, it was a couple years ago when the last time I beat it.
I get it because like there are even things from like because I played this really over the last month and a half. There's things a month and a half
Yeah,
ago
it's
that I'm like,
There's a lot.
well, I also am like, I don't remember what I did there, like kind of thing,
Right.
So,
Yeah.
okay, so the ending I got is I looked it up, and basically this is kind of what is considered like the main good ending is the Pan Am ending. And so basically you end up on the rooftop with Johnny, just like you were.
Right.
And honestly, that is one of the coolest, because you go up there with Misty. She takes you up to the rooftop and you talk with Misty, and she's giving you that tarot reading that's really cool.
Yeah.
The whole thing. And she's like, hey, Jackie, and I sat up here, and Jackie said he knew that this was probably his last day and blah, blah, blah. Right. And so like you're getting all the feels. And then Misty leaves, and of course Johnny appears, right? He talks to you from inside your head. And I basically had a number of options. I had the Arasaka, the sister. I had that option.
Yes.
And then I had the one where it was like, hey, I should call Pan Am. And then you call Pan Am, and Pan Am being the way that she is, I love this about her. You're like, man, this might be the last time that we talk. And she's like, oh, you're breaking up with me? Fuck you, and hangs up.
Yeah.
Like, you're like,
Wow. Okay.
you're like, no, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant.
She's always
Right.
pissed at the main character. Always. She's always yelling
Always.
at you.
And it's endearing the way that it the way that it is. So I called her back, and I was basically like, hey, that's not what I meant. Well, you have a chat with Johnny. You continue to chat with Johnny, and you're like, no, I want Pan Am and the Aldecaldos to help me. Like, we're gonna take this. I'm gonna take it down. I'm gonna take down Arasaka with her. And so yeah, you basically say this is the deal, and she and Saul are now leading the Aldecaldos. And basically Saul's like, you're one of us. Actually, that was a really cool scene earlier where they basically like they give you an Aldecaldos jacket. They're like, you're one of us. You become an Aldecaldos, and it's this like, oh man, you actually feel that camaraderie. You feel that brotherhood. You feel the whatever.
So as a corpo, I had some of that, but I didn't get the official invitation to the family.
Okay.
But you definitely get you're accepted, right? That kind of thing.
Oh, I became an Aldecaldos.
Interesting. Okay.
Like I was full on in. And so yeah, you basically call them up, and they're like, hell yeah, we're with you. And so you plan this whole thing where you're basically going to drill a tunnel from the desert.
I remember this.
Any of that.
Okay.
I get this one. Okay. I think I did do this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're going to drill a tunnel from the desert.
Yeah.
So they've got this big drill tunnel machine, and
I remember all
you
this.
fly.
Okay.
You fly the Basilisk, which is the tank thing.
Yeah.
You fly it in, and you're gunning everything down. You're controlling like drones. You're blowing everybody up.
She's driving and you're shooting, if I remember right, because you guys were buddying up.
Switch back and forth, right?
Yeah.
By the way, the weirdest sex scene in the game.
I don't know. The Judy one's pretty
okay.
crazy too.
It's the way that Basilisk works is Pacific Rim. Like, you know how you have to have the two controllers.
Yeah.
So you have two controllers, and their minds kind of join up a little bit, and so you guys have sex while your brains are connected, and it's weird.
That is weird. Yeah.
Like I'm not a prude or anything by any means, and I'm watching this. I'm like,
that's weird.
I'm like, do I need an adult? do I?
That's funny.
But anyway,
and that's why I just turned my character down, not because of females, because I wasn't into the VR sex. That's the whole reason.
Right.
That's fine.
Right.
She just could told me what she was into.
You better start worshiping our AI overlords, then you might be
that's right.
might have a chance.
Okay, anyway, so you make it into the tunnel, and you're going through now underneath Arasaka Tower. And you end up in this room where Adam Smasher, and he's early on in the game. You see him early on in the game. Adam Smasher, this total, like he's 80% mech or something like that.
Like 98%.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah.
But he shows up. He's massive. This thing's like 8 feet tall, right? And you're in with the Aldecaldos. You've got Panam with you. You've got Saul with you. Saul falls down when Adam Smasher comes through the wall, and Saul is like, "Fuck you," and shoots a shotgun blast into Adam Smasher's chest, and Adam Smasher stomps his head into paste.
Shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you fuck. Like I'm like, it's on like flung like now, you know, and oh man. So I felt there is a moment where you are given the option to not off Adam Smasher, and I'm like, fuck that. Click.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. Except.
Yeah.
Well, like right from the first time you see him, he's like, you're a real fuckable piece of meat. Like he's a dirtbag asshole monster right from the get-go. That's crazy. Yeah.
Well,
okay.
and what's funny is so that option to like finish him off is whatever weapon you have in hand, you're holding it above him. And all you've got to do is click. And at this point, I had a cattle prod that was like my most damaging weapon in the game. Okay. And so I just like, I was like,
wow,
good. We're good.
That's funny.
So
sleep easy tonight.
Yeah. So then you end up going into cyberspace with Alt. Yeah. And in the Panam ending, and I think I've heard that others, I've not watched some of the others, but I think I've heard that others do have the option to kind of survive the separation with Keanu. But basically Alt is like, no, your brain has already changed too much. It is now, it's Johnny's brain.
Right.
And so what I can do, like I've already she basically runs Soul Killer on you. So you and Johnny are now two separate entities. Mm-hmm. She's like, I can write you onto the brain, but it's probably only going to last 6 months because your brain is going to immediately start attacking yourself.
Right.
Okay.
And so you are given the option, give it over to Johnny, or basically live for 6 months.
But if you get,
and I'm like,
if you give the body to Johnny, is Johnny still going to live 6 months, or is it the idea that he would?
No, it's his brain at this point. It's already written.
Yeah, it's his now.
Okay.
Yeah, and so basically, it's like he can have the body and live however long.
Right.
Being Johnny, he'll probably live 6 minutes. But
right.
being the romantic that I am, I'm like, I can't leave Panam. Like. So I'm like, nope, I'm me. 6 months. At least I'm gonna have 6 more months with Panam. And then you leave the city. Like you leave Nightcity, and kind of the ending is basically like you're talking with Panam and the group, and you're basically like, we're gonna try to find somebody to fix this. And so I'm like, that's the storyline from the beginning of the game.
Yeah, you've done all this just to do it some more.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk 2.
Well, I'll talk.
But that's going to take place in Chicago.
Yes.
Well, so the creator said, or the tabletop creator, Mike Pondsmith, kind of leaked out that the story would be split between Nightcity and a new city in Chicago. So it'll be split between the two, and there'd be some kind of transportation between the two. So I'm looking forward to that. So I watched an ending on YouTube this morning to prep for the episode because I was curious what a full ending would look like. I didn't know which one you picked. I guess the one I watched through was you pick the daughter of Arasaka, right? The story is like her and her brother. Her brother kind of takes over.
Yeah.
The brother kills
her brother,
the
murderer.
The murderer,
yeah.
And he takes over the corporation, and he starts making some bad calls, starting a corporal war, I guess. Anyway, so you get the sister to help you, because you help the sister. That's who you choose after the rooftop, and you basically invade Arasaka. If you have what's the gentleman's name? Takamura. If you
Goro Takamura.
Yeah. If you have him alive, he actually, and Oda will go with you on the assault. If he's dead, you basically can go it alone, or I think you can take one back up. But the result of that story is she basically, the sister, Arasaka's sister, has you basically capturing her brother, and she's very clear saying, I will help, Hellman will help you, but you can't lay a finger on my brother. I need him back unscathed, right? Unscathed. So you do it. And then you basically V faints, and then you wake up and you're in a hospital. You're actually in a hospital in the orbital station around the Earth. It's owned by Arasaka.
Very neuromancer.
And there's a newscast on the TV on your bedside, and it's basically the fate of the brother is that I guess Arasaka uses their technology to take a engram of their father and puts him in the body of the son. And they frame it as the son was giving his life to his father as a gift. So as you're doing the recovery sequence in the hospital, you see clips of the news broadcasts of the senior or Arasaka and the young body justifying it and all this kind of stuff, saying it was a gift, it was a donation. No law can convict me. This is proper. This is the way we do it. And it was an interesting way to fuck it up. But she puts you in this procedure to separate you from Johnny, similar to the ending you got. But you end up in the hospital bed doing tests with the doctor. The doctor's very cold towards you, basically doing various tests, makes you solve a Rubik's Cube, which you can't quite do. Has you do a name association test, start giving you random words, and you have to pick the word that first comes to mind. One of the options for every choice is Johnny. So it's like chaos, Johnny, winter, Johnny, like guns, Johnny, and you can do it all the way through. Or you can pick whatever you want, but that's the funny to pick from. But eventually, you break away from the testing, and they basically tell you the truth. Takamura, if he's alive, comes in. If otherwise, it's Hellman. And they say that while they separated Johnny and removed him from you, you have 6 months to live. So if you have Takamura, he hands you a contract and says you have two options because you helped Arasaka out so much. They're willing to use the new life algorithm to take your soul and engram it and keep it in their systems. And then you ask, well, how come you can't get me a body like you did Senior Arasaka? And they're like, oh, we don't have the technology just yet. It only worked in his case because it was a genetic match, father and son. So we don't have technology. But in the future, we'll have technology that will do it. And until then, we can keep you. And it's like the contract's like, you waive your rights, you're basically corporal property, and you look at and you can agree to sign it or not. And that you give them the choice. And if you don't, you basically you can go back to Earth and live out your 6 months. But it's funny because you mentioned Pan Am. You have the voiceovers, the voicemails, and you try and talk with her. And because she says you can call home to Earth, and that's when you realize, oh shit, I'm in space. And you call her, and she's like, where are you? Oh, you're in orbit. Well, get your ass down to Earth. So you yell at you some more. Like she's angry with you the entire time. But yeah, it's basically the same idea. That the idea is that V, I guess, does not survive this game, which is an interesting choice. I didn't realize I was like that in all the endings. Or I'm assuming it's like that in the other endings. That's pretty interesting.
The voicemails during the credits were one of my favorite parts. They were absolutely one of my favorite parts, especially. And I kind of started talking about this earlier in our talk tonight, but I figured I could wait until we started talking about this. I didn't complete the Judy storyline. I got revenge for Evelyn, but then Judy calls later and she's like, "Hey, we've gotten 9 or dreams or whatever. We've gotten that taken care of, but I have another thing." And then like I basically finished the story, so I kind of ghosted her, and I get this voicemail from her. And by the way, my oldest said he got a voicemail from her that said this thing. I'm like, I got an entirely different one. So that is not set in stone. Hers, I literally was like, oh, when her voicemail came by, because she's like, V, I haven't heard from you for a while. Are you still in Night City? And I'm like, I fucking ghosted her. I'm an asshole.
6 months to live, and you let her down. Yeah. If you get a suicide ending, she leaves you a voicemail. It's a gut punch. Like it's really brutal because her best friend dies by suicide, and then you die by suicide. And it's the actor for that role for Judy is top notch. Like really best in class. Like really awesome role. Like you almost forget it's a character at first listening to the voicemail and how hard it hits. Like it's really great performance. But yeah, that's brutal.
Yeah. I also did complete. I got a couple achievements for, you completed so and so's storyline. Officer
River,
Lake or Walk River, Officer River. I completed that one too, which apparently you can do a same sex attraction one with that one if you want.
Yeah,
I of course did Pan Am, but
I wanted Pan Am, but I was playing female V, so I'm kind of locked to that. Judy's fine too, but it was just anyway. I wanted Pan Am. Pan Am was I like Pan Am as a character. I like the El Ducados. River, I kind of bounced off of. I didn't really care for
Oh, I love that storyline. I love that storyline.
His detective stuff is awesome. Like, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I saved
another
I saved
straight
his,
out of 7, right? Like, it's crazy.
I saved his nephew. Like
yes.
Yeah,
that whole quest is also another just very graphic, very like awesomely done quest, but just brutal.
This game is adult, not just in nudity. This game is adult in every
very
single
adult
concept.
themed.
Yeah.
I am. I'm going to my achievements here because that made me think about maybe it tells me, and I got leave Nightcity with the avocado, so I did the same ending.
Same one.
Yep.
But I completed Judy's story and had the relationship with her.
Yeah. Okay. So you became friends with the Aldecaldos, but you didn't have the Pan Am love storyline that I did.
Yeah. Right. So the other ending we don't know about, there is one with Rogue, and I think you something to do with her at the end, having her help you take down Arasaka or do that whole sequence.
She was one of the options that I would have been able to call her.
But I never did that because I always felt like, as much as I like Keanu and Johnny Silverhand, the character, I always wanted my character to be like, to have a happy ending where they separate and you can live my life. I didn't want any ties to his side of the story. So I didn't really like Rogue. I didn't like his blow every corporal building to the ground type of mentality on everything. Cause he's always like quick to violence until he gets better as you go.
Yeah.
But like, I guess by the end of the game, the idea is that as he's been overriding your brain, you kind of merge to a degree. He even says that in the one ending I watched, where he's like telling you it's a mistake to be separated, and that at this point we're basically the same thing. Like, I'm you, you're me type of thing. And he kind of calls you out for not wanting to go down in a blaze of glory. Like, he kind of calls you out saying you have no loyalty, which is again
interesting.
Like that final fuck you to you. But he's probably kind of saying in his words are like, you're gonna die anyway. You might as well go out in a fight, right? So
I remember there was a part where it was that mission where you're basically trying to find Atom Smasher to take out Atom Smasher for him, and you end up at the junkyard where they basically like tossed his body, right? And he's like, I don't even have like, my name is nowhere. And I absolutely adored that that discussion with him, because there is a point where he basically is like, everybody in my life can't stand me, but you're with me 24/7 and you haven't told me to fuck off.
Right.
And I'm like, oh shit, he's actually having an epiphany. In my brain, he's having an epiphany. And so I did the whole thing where I like carved his initials on like the fridge door that was right there. So
you go find his Porsche. You can go pick up his Porsche
out
in the area.
Yeah. So I was driving Delamain for a long time, and then I ended up with his Porsche, and I was driving his Porsche for a long time. And
cool.
The best vehicle I got was because you can order stuff on the online shopping, and there's a red motorcycle that looks straight out of Akira. And,
I have
one of my favorite things in that game, especially with the nice video card, is just you hop on the bike and you just drive from the middle of nowhere, the Badlands, all the way to downtown core in one go, maximum fucking speed, because that bike goes. And then if you get hit, you go flying. But the sense of speed is really great in that game, and that's why I never fast traveled. I just want to ride everywhere. Yeah,
it's cool to just it's a lot like Red Dead Redemption, where you just hop on the horse and you're just like, I'm just gonna walk around the map. I just want to take it all in. And it's the same thing with that.
I did essentially kind of the same thing. With Witcher, I would not fast travel unless it was, of course, the different map zones, right? But I would ride Roach everywhere until basically I got to really kind of that last 10% of the game. And I did the same thing with Cyberpunk, where it was at the point that I was like, okay, I don't really want to drive all the way through the desert to get back to Arasaka Tower, so I'm going to fast travel, right?
Okay.
And so I did fast travel. I don't know. I probably fast traveled 10 or less times in the whole playthrough. So
I did it a lot because I was like, I want to get this shit done. I'm gonna go to this next place.
That's totally valid, right? Because this is a long game. It's a long game, and I feel like you can easily get bogged down in the side stuff and never finish it, which is a shame. Like the DLC, which I won't go into, but the DLC is part of is in the game early on if you want to do it. but there's a lot there. And when I did it, I started part of it. I got really sidetracked just doing that, and I lost track of the main story. So like there's a lot of side stuff that's like that too, where you just get really sidetracked. And it's a game where if you are going to play it this year, I feel like people should mostly mainline it, so they get it done. But
yeah. I was gonna say I selected to not install the DLC while I was doing this playthrough.
Yeah, smart. Yeah, because you can definitely get wrapped up into it without knowing that you're getting wrapped up into it until you're like, oh fuck, there's Idris Elba. Fuck.
Yeah,
I am now way off. I'm way off base now. I got to go back.
Like you can leave and come back later, but then you kind of like you're leaving the story behind, and it feels weird, right? The story feels more immediate, and it's very central to that area. I wish it was almost honestly a separate thing entirely, that you could just import your character and do it. It's weird having it in the city in a first playthrough, especially. So it's interesting. But so with all this, with V and Johnny Silverhand, they are doing a sequel. They're definitely making a sequel. I mean, this game did incredibly well for CD Projekt Red, and they already have people working on it. Do you want to play V in a sequel, or do you want a new character? Do you want Johnny Silverhand, or do you want something new?
Personally, I just want the story. I love the environment. I love the stories. I don't care if it's V or it's somebody else. I think what they do with V, in my personal opinion, and you can shoot this down if you want to, but they make him so, I don't want to say forgettable, because that's not a good way to say it, but they make him, you don't attach yourself to V super hard because you're sharing two different personalities. So you're like, am I Johnny or am I myself? Like, am I doing this? Am I doing that? And I don't feel like losing V loses the story. I think the story continues. It's bigger than just the one person. And I like that. I appreciate it. Because like Witcher, you're like Geralt.
Yeah.
Gotta have Geralt. Like I gotta, or you know, Ciri or whatever.
Although I was gonna say, with the second DLC that they did for Witcher, I am actually very happy that they are doing Ciri for Witcher 4. Yeah, I'm glad that they didn't say we're going to continue the Geralt. It would have had to be a prequel. It would have had to have been a prequel.
Right.
And even then, I wouldn't want it. I don't want to see Geralt. Yeah. I love Geralt so much. I love the story they told, but I don't want any more to it. I don't need it. Like they finished it so well.
No, I feel like with V, it's the same way, because it's very much like you are attached because you play as him, but you're not. And again, this is me. I never felt like super rooted in V, and just his name alone, just his or her name alone, V, doesn't really leave much to like longevity in my mind. So I don't know. I think having the character creation be a thing, when you start the next game, you're going to be probably creating a new character. It's going to be like, yo, it's V, but you know, I'm a different V now. But you know, I think it's just a different person will take it on.
I think the only way that they could continue the V story in a way that would be compelling is if they figured out a way to genuinely continue the V story, which is his brain is now trying to eat himself, and they need to figure out that. Like, that's the only way that it would be compelling, is if it was a continuation of his brain is fucked up now and we got to fix this. Yeah. But even then, like, there's a part of me that's like,
you kind, like you said before, you kind of had that story in the original game, right? Where you're trying to race to get Johnny out of your head before you both die. But the sequel, if that's the case, it's the same story all over again.
How many times can we blow up the Death Star? Right. I mean, you know,
I feel like this leads the opportunity, because I mean, you have Johnny Silverhand as the main whatever, and then you do Phantom Liberty, and they grabbed Idris Elba to do that. Who's to say they can't find another fairly big name actor or actress to be the next Johnny Silverhand or Idris Elba character or whatever? I think that leaves it open to interpretation for other things.
I think it would be cool to have Alt and Johnny play a little bit of a role in the second
if they show up, that would be great. There'd be great homage, but they don't have to be like the source.
If there's if there's a cyber aspect and Alt and Johnny are there, I'm going to be happy with it, right?
Well, and there's like a really cool bit of lore with the game where there's the whole idea of the internet and how they've distanced themselves with it by having a firewall in the internet to keep the outside internet at bay, because of it's basically AI gods basically trying to infect
the black wall.
The black wall,
right.
And Alt is kind of like a digital god at some point. So that would be a really awesome story, dealing with Alt in some way with a cataclysm and the net being infected or something. I could see it. Johnny being basically depending on the ending you get,
Johnny's joining alt. He's joining alt, right?
He's joining alt. So that could be a totally a great way of doing it as well. So like there's things like there's options for keeping them in there because he's basically an immortal character, right? There's ways to do it where it makes sense or it'd be fun to do. But even if they went with different characters, I'd be fine with that too. The characters in the DLC are actually pretty memorable as well, so I could see them doing it. Not even Idris Elba. There's other characters there too that are awesome. So I could see it. Like I look at something like Mass Effect. I love the Mass Effect trilogy, and I like how you can play Shepard all the way through. But like that's a story that was kind of like had cliffhangers, whereas Cyberpunk really doesn't have cliffhanger. It pretty much gives you a good story start to the end. The death in 6 month thing is what it is, but it's still a good ending, right, to the character, and it makes sense with the world and the lore and stuff.
Right.
One thing I wanted to point out that we didn't really touch on tonight, which we did in the first episode I was here. That fucking Jackie story at the beginning. Even on this playthrough, I'm like, oh, fucking Jackie. Like, and you get a voicemail from Mama. What's Jackie's? Alvarez. No, not Alvarez. Wells. You get a you get a voicemail from her, and she's like, well, I hope you're doing well. You and and I'm just like, God damn it. Fucking Jackie's still tearing my heart apart.
Right.
Well, you do. I mean, you can ignore it entirely if you want to, but if you do the quest, you go to his Afyendra, is that what it's called? His funeral,
his funeral. Yeah,
you go through his home, his belongings, his tribute. You go through his home. You talk with Misty. You learn more about her and their relationship. A bit.
His momotorcycle.
You get his fucking bike, which is rad. I use that all the time. I ditched my cart and took his motorcycle everywhere. Yeah, but it's again the dialogue, the setup, the set pieces, like all the quest set pieces, much like The Witcher, didn't feel like side quest fodder. They all felt really fleshed out, really great, and worth the time to do. There's just so many of them. Yeah. But that is definitely one of the ones you want to do. Like it would feel wrong to play Cyberpunk and not do his funeral and talk to his mom.
Especially since you continue interacting with Misty. Like, you kind of need to do the Jackie story even after Jackie's gone, because it is so aligned with that whole Misty, persona, right?
Yeah.
Like she's sad the entire and she's sad the entire game, right? And it's like,
if you didn't understand why, it would kind of be a different game through. Yeah, I agree.
Right.
Yeah. But so I guess to answer the question of the episode, should people play Cyberpunk 2077 in 2026? Yeah. You should have played it already. You should play it again.
What are you doing here?
Yeah. What are you doing here? No, there's going to be a sequel. And I think before the sequel, even if this story is not related at all, even if it doesn't have Keanu Reeves, I think it's still worth playing through the first game. CD Projekt Red, you know what? Like, don't pre-order the game. Never pre-order these games, because when Cyberpunk first came out, there was a lot of bugs and issues, and it is still janky in the occasional spots. Right, there are still bugs occasionally. There you go. Last night.
I had six saves that was 45 minutes that had corrupted.
It's take the PC rules of old, right? Multiple saves. Save early,
save often.
Yeah, you have to. It still sucks. You shouldn't have these kind of bugs. Losing progress would probably made me bounce, to be honest with you. So I'm glad you kept with it. But yeah, there's bugs. But they've been updating it quite often. They did the 2-point update in 2023. They revamped the skill tree entirely. They got rid of the stats on clothing. They made clothing complete cosmetic. All the armor is now on cyberware, which is more fitting to the character. They opened it up there. They changed the police system, added vehicles, combat. They added a lot of things over the years to the game, and it's cool. The game today is not the game when it first came out in 2020. It's a much different game. And it's a great game to go through again. It's just a meaty long game, that's for sure.
The story is okay. I'm gonna say this. I kind of have been waiting for our Sisyphean episode, but since this is kind of my Sisyphean follow-up episode, I wanted to say that genuinely, I can't tell you which story I like better, Witcher 3 or this. I can't tell you. I like them both that much.
Yeah, they're good.
After seeing the ending this morning, I watched through and hearing the ending that you got, that is a much night and day different, better ending than what I got with the Suicide. Because when I got the Suicide ending and the credits, I'm like, okay, it's good. It's a good game. I like it. It's good. It's fine. It's good. But then when I watched the YouTube video, it was almost 2 hours long of the ending sequence.
Yeah.
I completely didn't get at all, and it sounds completely different, except for the end result. But the lineup of the space station, the Rubik's Cube, you had none of that in your ending. That to me is awesome, that there's multiple endings that are kind of like of that level different, and that's really cool.
Right.
So
I went to Arizona. I went to Arizona.
That's I went to space, but or in the video. In the DLC is also excellent. I want to go back and finish the DLC. I got a good ways through it, and I can't remember why I bounced, but I really do want to finish it before the sequel comes out. So like that and Witcher 3 are the two I would like to play again. I know that there's rumors there'll be a Witcher 3 DLC of some kind next year. Not a simple one, but maybe supposedly expansion, big. Maybe. Yeah, because of the Witcher 4 is coming out in a few years. So this will kind of tie people over. I could see them doing something similar for Cyberpunk in a year or two. CD Projekt has contracted out another studio to help with this kind of stuff. So I'm curious to see what they do and whether it's good. I hope it is. Anything you guys want to shout out before we wrap up?
I want to shout out our Patreons.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm going to steal this one.
Yeah.
We have a Patreon. It's appreciated if you join, but of course it's only if you want to. There are some perks, and we do have some different tiers. And there is a tier that you will earn your ability to be called out in our episodes. So thank you, Von Beardley and Cthusiast Jeff, for being that tier.
Circus Charles tier will get you that shout out, I think, at the end, right?
Yeah. But patreon.com/pressb to cancel.
Yes. And you can always find our podcast over on YouTube. We live stream on Fridays generally at 9 p.m. Eastern. It's youtube.com/@pressb to cancel. Or, of course, you can find our audio versions of our episodes wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, including ours, whether that's Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, iTunes for some reason in 2026, not Google Podcasts because Google sucks. They got rid of that. But you can find us over on Pocket Casts. I use that. Always open to new apps. Spotify. Yeah, all that good stuff. Or again, pressbtocancel.com for all of our links, including our Discord. Come let us know in Discord if you played Cyberpunk 2077 and whether you want to replay it again. I'm curious to see who wants to replay it before the sequel comes out more. Or if you don't like the game, let us know. I'm always curious for people's bad takes on games because I know I have mine. So, Chard, you want to shout out your stream? And Sinistar, you too. You guys should shout out you guys stream occasionally. Certainly more than I do. So.
We finished up Silent Hill 4 today. The Room over on Twitch, www.twitch.tv/Chardmonk. You can find me over there playing spooky games. We're going to get into some indie stuff, I think, this upcoming weekend. I have to unfortunately head back to work on Monday, so the stream amounts are going to lessen a bit. But you can catch me most Saturdays, Sundays, and some Friday nights scaring myself stupid because it's a lot of fun. Or playing really bad Silent Hill games like Silent Hill 4 The Room.
It was an amazing game. Amazingly bad.
Sure. Yeah, it was a rough haul, but we finished it. I'm proud we got that one done. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and F have been tackled.
Nice.
There's a few more, but we're gonna walk away from those and try something a little bit different. So
we're
gonna
treat yourself and take a break and play a little Warframe, to just lighten the mood and change things up. And 30 hours in, you get the starter quest. Speaking of treat yourself, Sinistar, what are you doing on weekends? You do the spinning of things.
I do. So on Mondays, I do DJ Sinistar on Twitch, and I do DJ stuff on my stream. On Saturdays, most Saturdays, I'm over on my buddy's Soul Archaic doing the DJ stuff. We call it Smatterday, and we play a smattering of different songs. That's what it is.
All right. Well, everybody, this has been another week of Press B to Cancel. As always, thanks for watching and listening. Have a great week. 1 second, I'm going to go raid Stripey Lobster.
Stripers.
Speaking of bad takes on bags of milk, Stripey.
Wow.
Wow.
I thought it was perfect if you just left it speaking of bad takes.
Yeah.